Welcome back to the Sundays and Dragons podcast. My name is Wyler, and I'll be running the Leston campaign again. We have with us tonight Brad and Shawn, who are playing Exy and Klementine.
Yep.
And you can give us a last time on Leston Death Slayer 3000 if you like.
So, to recap the events of last session, you guys were tasked with trying to figure out why dead bodies were popping up out of the well. Little knowing what the hell was actually going to happen. You guys walked into the aqueducts and came across a site that was kind of very odd. Very strange indeed. There were cultists, everything was dusty. It was kind of a horror fest.
Yeah, it was nightmare fuel.
But the one important thing was you all were discovering people that seem aged or like on the verge of death that you had seen not less than hours ago, and that they were telling you stories of the like end of days, the apocalypse, essentially.
Right.
You guys fought some You guys fought some weird cultists that were all named Steve.
Yeah.
They're all Steve.
First Steve, second Steve, third
Yes,
Steve.
you all fought a flesh golem that was named Steve 2.0.
Yes.
Yeah. Second Steve, if you will.
Now, at which point, future Thaddeus, for all intents and purposes, you found him, you managed to free him, and in turn, he got you out, or got you back to your own time, right in the brink of, right, like on the... You were a few seconds away from being torn to shreds.
Right. And we still have so many questions.
A lot of questions.
So many questions. We ended up finding a traitor in our midst.
Yep, you guys learned that Leviticus was working for the cult. For not only a cult, but also one of the big guilds in the capital. You learned that they are evil. You guys went to try and talk to him in secret, try to get him into some elaborate plan, but he caught on. There was a fight in which Leviticus died.
And I was feeble-minded.
Yes.
Yes.
Friend. Yeah.
Upon which after doing that, you went and talked to the king, and after talking some things over, he said to kind of sleep on it, and you would discuss everything in the morning.
Right.
Upon which you all went to Matthias's. You got a few drinks out. He bawled a little when he saw you guys.
He's emotional.
He's very emotional.
He's very
Very
emotional.
an emotional man. Yeah.
But we are going to actually start off with you guys going to bed.
All right.
Great.
So after this very long day, it seems, you guys finally manage to get to your beds and find some rest.
All right.
You close your eyes, and your mind kind of falls asleep, but soon you find yourselves in kind of like a void of nothing. Well, you look to your right and you see Clem. Clem, you look to your left, you see Exy.
Hi.
You're here too now?
And you look back forward and you're back at the campsite you guys made on your way to Fort Basir. The second camp you made after you had found Clem.
After we fought the rock giant dude.
The hill giant, yeah.
All right.
This was on your patrol.
Mm-hmm.
When you were out and about and you heard some ruffling in the bushes, but when you went to look, they all disappeared. And you are watching him as he's kind of like looking out to see what's going on. Excuse me. All right, back to normal. I had to burp. But anyway, so you guys see him. You hear the rustling of the bushes on the other end of this location. Then you slowly start to fade, or start to disappear. Well, your sight kind of drifts towards where the noise was. You go through the bushes, through the trees. And moving at a very quickened pace, you see a beast. A white kind of fluorescent beast. He's running on all fours. A trail of white smoke kind of trailing behind him as he's running. And you go through a few bushes and through the trees. And then finally you get to the vast open area that is the peak that you guys are on. And he runs and he runs and he looks like he's about to run off the other side of the cliff. But then he begins to ascend. And he ascends upward and upward and upward until finally, kind of almost like he jumps through a sort of pond. He jumps through and you fall, and your sight kind of follows. And you're taken into what seems like a place above the clouds. And you see this four-legged creature begin to kind of slow his pace down. And in front of this beast, you see a man, or kind of a humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of he's being washed over with a kind of a white fluorescent energy. It makes it really hard to see him. The only thing you can really see is his super really bright eyes. And the beast steps forward and kind of bows his head down in a kind of bowing stance and then begins to kind of grumble. And you can't really kind of get the facial features out of this guy. You just kind of see his eyes going up and down a little bit like he's nodding. But you see him kind of wave. You see a hand kind of come forward and wave, almost like he's waving the beast off, and it does. But then he goes to turn around, and he kind of like stops and looks at you two. He goes, "Well, it appears I've found you."
Found me or him? Which one?
Both of you.
Oh, both of us.
A lot taller than I imagined.
He's kind of tall.
Tiefling.
Yeah, you know.
Such awesome creatures my brother created, but it seems like he has no other intent but to use them for evil. For that, I apologize.
Yeah, people do what people do, I guess.
I guess so. But know that I am watching you.
I? And who is you?
Well, I go by many names. Creator. Sometimes you see me holding a brush. Sometimes, most of my you had a follower of mine amongst you at one point. Don't know where she went, but
And why are we here?
honestly, that question is as good as that's actually a really good question. One of my lesser gods must be meddling in affairs that he doesn't need to be involved in. But anyway, since we are here, know that I am watching you. And with that, I bid you a good night.
Good night.
And he
Bye.
he waves his hand, and you feel a sudden jerk as your sight just gets pulled back. You're almost like in rewind.
What?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I
You
can
go soaring backwards, you say.
Yeah. and then you're pulled back past the outing, and then your vision again fades to black, and then you wake.
I leave my room and go to Clementine's room. and
I
start
leave my
banging
room
on
and
the
go
door.
to X's room. We kind of collide into each other.
Oh, okay. So you guys are walking out of your rooms. So you
Yeah.
go. So you guys walk out of your rooms. You have to pass like the main, like Matthias's basic like store to get to his. So roll a perception check.
Who? Both?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, that's a 5.
11.
All right. So
But this perception, so plus
Oh
3.
God, we're gonna pass each other or something. It's gonna be
8.
terrible.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Nice. 8s are cool.
It's really cool.
so you well, you wake up and you open the door and you see Matthias talking to Harriet, the lady that you guys had seen the day prior, who helped you in fighting Leviticus. And they seem to be just having a chat.
Which one of us see this?
You both do as you're walking out.
Have we seen each other?
Not yet. I mean, like you guys.
Matthias, where's Clem?
Matthias, where's Exy?
Clem,
Exy. Exy?
it's fine. It's fine, Matthias.
Yeah,
what was that
yeah.
young? What was that young dark elf's name again? I know you just said it.
Harriet.
That's right. Morning, Harriet.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How? Oh, I'm fine.
We're fine. Just a second, and I grab Clementine and like pull him back toward the hallway.
Okay.
Clem?
Exy?
Well, the king wants to talk to you after you're done.
Just a second. Clem, did I had a dream?
I had a dream too. You were there.
All right, same page.
Okay. Awesome. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Harriet, let me put on my pants and we will go talk to the king.
Harriet's like, please do, please do.
I run back and start grabbing my supplies and getting dressed.
That was interesting. Wait, I am naked too. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we rolled out of bed scared. I forgot to draw my sword and everything. Fight could have been coming. I didn't know. But yeah, I get dressed, head back out.
All right, and you do, and you see them kind of look back and forth. They're very confused right now. They're kind of like, Matthias is kind of like red-eyed, like looking at Harriet going,
We had a long night. Yeah. So,
The
Clem
king.
and I already.
Yes.
well, good. Thaddeus has returned. He arrived this morning.
That's
He's-
really good.
He's talking with the king and discussing battle plans.
Battle plans. Still wishes to proceed to Strayson?
Yes.
Is that right? Strayson?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm getting your names. Don't you worry. I would like to, well, he's already summoned us. We would like to speak to the king.
Well, then follow me. And you guys walk out, and when you guys went to sleep last night, there were like people were getting. You saw people getting ready, like obviously soldiers and stuff. But it appears more people have arrived.
Great.
So you walk out, and there are definitely more soldiers about. You look up, and there is actually a ship in the air.
Well, that's interesting.
I've never seen one of those.
Me neither.
I don't think.
It's a ship, but it's not in sea.
Like, is it got propellers of some kind? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Steampunky.
you look out to the sides of it, and it appears this ship has what looks almost like wings, but like on the sides of the wings, there's big, giant kind of propellers that are,
Making it hover.
yeah.
That's cool.
And then you see kind of like a blimp style
Yeah, okay.
thing on top of it.
Harriet?
Zeppelins are here too.
How-
I don't know what a zeppelin is. What is a zeppelin? What's a zeppelin?
How do we get one of those?
Well, you'd have to do a lot of persuading on the king's part to
Of course.
get that to happen.
Of course. We need to get a boon from the king and request his ship.
Okay. What's a boon?
Like a boon? It's like something that he you got to do something really cool. And he'll be like, dudes. And he'll give us a boon. I still don't know what boon
Okay,
means.
me
I mean,
neither.
dude. I know what boon means.
Yeah, what's dude?
It was a long night. To the king.
Yes, the king likes to use his so-called slang words a lot.
Slang words.
He has more than one.
Like,
He's
like shit. Resh.
he's a man that strides towards new ideas. Let's say that much.
Ah, revolutionary man. All right.
But yeah, you see that sort of Zeppelin type machine, and you see a bunch of soldiers. You actually see a few creatures flying about, and you can almost make out that somebody's on top of them.
What creatures are those?
Those are griffins, my friend.
What's a griffin?
Excuse me.
A griffin is a flying
Big
beast.
bird.
Big bird. Yes,
Big
essentially.
bird.
Is it yellow?
Is it yellow?
No, it is. It's like some of them have gray feathers, some of them brown. They're all kinds of.
We'll get copyright if it's yellow. Good. Let's move on.
But anyway,
we shut the fuck up and keep walking.
you get to the tower and you guys walk up the stairs, and you know it's
right.
the insane amount of stairs.
There's a flying ship.
Oh
but
god,
we
we're
have
going back
no
to the tower
arrow
again?
Yeah.
We have wicked calves now.
of steel. Of
It's always
solid
leg day
steel.
in Fort Basir. Always leg day here.
It appears-
Yes, I agree. Why the original builders of this place thought it would be okay to build this tall ass tower in a small
Found the name
fort
for
like
the
this.
next episode.
Tall ass tower.
Nope, leg day.
And you finally get to the top, and you open the door, and you see the king. You see his advisor, Trevor. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, platinum scaled lizard, or platinum scaled humanoid.
Trevor?
Yeah. And then you see Thaddeus. And they're all standing over this table that appears to have a map over it.
I
A few
bow
maps.
when I see the king.
I do too, but I say, "What's up, dude?" afterwards.
What's going on, my man?
Another one of your slang terms, I see. You have a lot
My
of them.
man.
Or sorry, I need to get back into the king's voice again.
Right? Yeah.
What's going on, my man? How are you doing today? Did you all sleep well?
Yes.
Ish.
Most part. Hard bed at Matthias's. Easier to sleep on the road, I think.
That's what I love about adventurers.
Right. We have heard that you plan on moving toward Port Strayson. Are you feeling that with the what's the word I'm looking for? The killing of the traitor was sufficient to cause the changing of events?
The word you're looking for is execution.
Execution. He
If I were
kinda
not-
kicked my ass. You might have executed him. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Prophecy may dictate that the events that might happen might still happen, but as king, I cannot afford to just let a nest of monsters do what they want in a city of mine.
And you plan on being at the head of this expedition, King?
Well, that's why I summoned you here.
Ah. We didn't have much time to talk if we were interested in such things, but we are.
Well, that is my question to you now.
We are willing to hear your what's on the table.
Well,
Not asking
first-
for compensation, but what it is that you would want from us. At
Well,
least
my
that's
questions are-
my stand on it.
Yeah.
Let's hear the offer first.
You all have done a lot for us in the short time that we've known each other. In my mind, you all are heroes already. You have delivered this news for Stray Sun. You've you've taken care of a traitor amongst our midst. You've revealed to us that there is a guild that pursues evil and wishes to bring back the great god of chaos. If you wish to leave now, that is your choice, but if you would join us, I would greatly appreciate it.
What role? Exactly. Would you have for
That is my
myself
second
and
question.
Clem? All right.
How would you all... Thaddeus vouches for you. Harriet vouches for you. How would you all like to become part of my king's guard?
Protectors of the king of Leston?
Yes. They do more than just protect me. They go about taking care of business that I can't reach.
Right.
Dispelling evils that, before they come forth. The King's Guard does more than just protect the king. And there are many perks that come with being a King's Guard, including monetary pay.
Clem?
He mentioned something earlier. Boons? He said he wanted an airship.
Well, Clementine, seeing you don't just come out with what you want
Well, I
the
don't-
most
I don't see
at the
any-
beginning of
I don't see
such.
any
Listen,
I'm
Sir,
listening.
Sir King.
As he's smiling.
Yep. I think that, listen, we saw some things yesterday, and we may have taken care of some of it, but in prior events of what we saw and future and all that, bad things happened. And your death was one of them, and you seem gracious. I'm willing to see it through, I think. Maybe if I'm closer to you, then I can prevent what we saw from happening. Not a big fan of watching a world burn.
I believe fate has more in store for you than...
Yeah, I don't believe in fate too much anymore, just the repetitive nature of worlds.
Well, but what'd you join?
It's up to Clem. I'm willing if he's willing.
I was only a part of a guild that wants to destroy this world. I think it's only fair if I try to right the wrong, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like what in the morning, per se?
It's like 9.
Okay. It's very early in the morning to have such heavy speak. We're alive, currently. But what would the plan be for us then? Are we marching on Stray Sun with you, or?
Yes, that is what we are discussing. Thinking of trying to plan ahead, see what we can do to potentially avoid conflict, or maybe...
What was Thaddeus? What did Thaddeus see when he scouted ahead?
And Thaddeus speaks up and goes, "It is not a good sight, to say the least. Monsters fill every district.
Any survivors? Slaves? Prisoners?
Some slaves, but others are in these sack-like things.
Shit. That sounds bad.
They're converting them into those monsters, those sacks.
That's an
I
easy way to
watched
build
it,
an
and
army.
it was not pleasant.
Did you see or hear anything from Hannibal?
No, unfortunately. But there appears that they've had sorry, let me repeat that, please.
You're fine.
But what was most interesting was that the Tenkan was gone.
A ship was gone? That's not good.
No.
How many other
How many other major cities, ports could it reach in this kingdom?
Well, it could go back to the Duragon Empire. That's a potential. Or it could go into the mountains or to the Suna coast.
It's not good if it's going to multiple places and deploying these creatures. I understand if we don't do something soon to figure it out, that we could be surrounded on all sides. And if this, what was the second kingdom that it came from?
The Duragon.
And the whole point of it originally was peace.
Yeah.
That could be bad if it does return and attack them. If it wasn't, do we think that the Duragon Empire was behind this?
If that ship were filled with nothing but Dragonborn, yes, but unfortunately it's filled with monsters, so the Duragon Empire is ruled out for the moment.
Have we heard anything from them?
No. We are in peace talks, but we aren't necessarily
Friends.
friends,
Right.
so to speak. It's not like we keep up with each other.
No word of war on their shores, though.
We wouldn't know if there was war.
Has these creatures made their way out of Port Strayson?
No, they seem to be more focused on trying to convert the civilians.
What was you saying, Clem?
Maybe we could. You have flying machines. That's all.
Very cool flying machines.
Maybe we can intercept this ship and check it out, or recon, so to speak.
If we knew where it went, we would.
Right. How many of those ships you got, King? Just the one?
For right now, just the one.
All right.
I, for one, think we have wasted enough time to...
Right. So, your original plan then, what was it?
Well, that's what I came to ask you all for.
Right?
What do you think we should do? Thaddeus believes we should burn the city to the ground with everything in it.
A purge.
I, however, want to see that these citizens are saved.
It would come down to whether or not those that have been transformed into these creatures could be saved.
No, not the creatures, sadly, but
The remaining
everybody
survivors.
else that's still in one of these so-called sacks. If we
Right.
could save as much of them as possible.
As I was thinking, though, King, if those that were transformed, if there was a way to reverse it, if we burn the whole city, we'll never have known. And thousands of innocents may be slain in the process.
My thoughts exactly.
At the same time, if you want to stop the rot in a burning leg or a dying leg, you cut it off at the knee and you be done with it. So, but I'm not a battle tactician, but I can see merit in both sides. Though, as a healer, I would lean toward preservation of life. What about you, Clem?
It's interesting. But I agree with you.
And you see Thaddeus kind of huff under his breath.
It's a good idea,
You-
Thaddeus. But
This is a great idea.
I would rather try to save one life.
We can mix them. Small group infiltrates the city. We can try to get the survivors out first before onslaughting the city itself. If we can, then all good and well. And Thaddeus, you get to come running in and burn it to the ground after. If we can't get to them, then you still get what you want.
Understandable. But the thing is, The place is swarmed. To try and remove the people from these sacks takes time,
Right.
and also time to be spotted. If we were to try and do a extraction, we would need a distraction, so to speak.
We need a distraction. We need to maybe have a larger force somewhere else, so they're focused on that.
There is only one way in and out of Straysun.
That's good and bad.
If we were to, say, put the main forces at the front gate, which is sealed, we would need somebody to come in from the inside and open it.
Which is where a small team comes in to open the gate.
Right.
To have a small team come in, open the gate. Let our forces come into conflict with these creatures long enough to rescue as many people as possible,
And then
and then get out.
yeah.
So a mixture of both then. Would it be possible to have either one of these flying ships or boats ready just out of view, trying to evacuate people through the one exit of the city other than the docks? Many will die. If we had a way of getting them out away from the conflict onto the water or onto a ship, then maybe we stand better odds.
That's a good point. I can try and get a hold of the city. I don't know. I literally in my.
That's what your players are good at, is throwing wrenches in
Yeah.
stuff.
Because there's a nearby city to Straysun, isn't there? Well, not nearby, but like a day's
Right.
walk.
No, so Straysun was on a peak.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
The closest town was Fort Basir.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, so even getting someone down to the docks would still be risky.
So the safest bet is to have them go out the only
If
exit.
we could,
It is not safe either way, I don't think.
maybe the sewers.
Right, well, if the sewers are anything like here in Fort Basir, they're going to be crawling with those cultists.
We go in through the sewers, clear it out, then
We
open
could.
the gate. And
We
then-
are really good at sewers, apparently. Might
Yes.
be able to find Steve again.
More Steves.
Yep.
We're gonna smell again. Oh, that smell.
We haven't taken a bath yet, Clem.
I've noticed.
We're just used to the smell, is all. So, a mixture of both plans then? A small team finds a way into the sewers. We find an exit route for survivors. Before we start working on that, we make it to the gate and open the doors. Distraction, chaos, and extraction.
We'll need. Was there a bridge or anything from Straysun? Nothing we could.
Stray Sun's like into the side of a mountain type thing.
Yeah. It's hammocked
Tiered.
into.
Yeah. This is like the Mayans type stuff.
Yeah.
So there's no way
It's
we
gonna
could.
be hard.
There's no way to blow up something to make the
Is
path.
there any tunnels in the mountain that could be accessed? Anybody know?
There are a few entry points, but
Sewers are probably the easiest.
and there's somebody leading them in place of this ship I've seen. A hobgoblin.
Really?
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. Do we know what hobgoblins are?
Yeah, you met one in the first session.
We did. You're right. I forgot.
I wasn't there though. What's a hobgoblin, Exy? I never seen one my entire life.
Kind of nasty.
Oh,
Tall goblinoid creature. You've seen goblins?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen one or two.
And taller, nastier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Smarter. Maybe.
Well, how
A
smart is he?
hobgoblin leads these creatures and controls them.
He seems deformed, almost like he's part hobgoblin, part one of these beasts.
We found a name for these beasts yet? Something we're calling them for tactical purposes?
Roger.
Roger?
Roger.
Roger. Rogers. I was going to go for Steve. We can mix them both and call them Steve and Rogers.
You hear Steve and the king chuckles like, calling him Steve just seems like, I don't know.
It's kind of like dude, you know?
Now don't make fun of dude. Dude's one of my words.
Well, okay. So Steves. An army of Steves. This isn't good. Like I said, I think we've all made valid points. We find a way in under the city and clear out a path for extraction, get the gates open, and you lead in and burn the city to the ground after? Into the earth?
Unfortunately, we only have the resources at hand to do one or the other. That is the main issue that we are having.
Well, if we were to get them out, you could lead in for the distraction, and we could retreat, but that still leaves Port Strayson under the control of these creatures.
Is there any way we can tactically destroy key points? Like put small...
There are weaknesses amongst the cliffs. Sort of weak points that, say, explosives could be set into and set off. Make a big explosion.
Well, if we can't burn it to the ground,
We can always bury
we
it.
could bury it instead. Maybe... Okay, square one. We get to the city, we find a way in underneath. We clear it.
Plant explosives.
We open the gate first. Well, no. We clear it. We plant explosives.
Open the gate.
Open the gate. After reconnaissance on how to free the survivors,
Yes.
gate opens. Big distraction. Extract survivors. You leave after a feint. And then we hopefully don't die when we set off the explosives.
And then leave the sewers. Okay.
Right. Hopefully we can get to the sewers. We're going to need some kind of delayed way of doing it.
We have methods. I can give you all some explosives, and a command ring, when given the command word, will set them off.
Boom.
How close do we have to be to them to set it off?
120 feet.
Oh, we're going to have to be close to, like, the sewer entrance, mate. Ducking down in there as soon as we make it go boom. Or we're going to be in the midst of fire and brimstone, which is not nice.
No.
So, with the resources we have, we can do 2 teams. One to set the explosives and one to do the extraction.
Right?
Which ones do you want to be a part of, if you are to join?
I'm a healer. Probably do better with the extraction. I don't know shit about explosives.
Sadly, I don't either. I can make explosions. I don't know how to set them off.
Well, the command ring does that for you.
I learned a new spell. I can make things go boom. Not to the extent of explosives. Clem, you want to make things go boom or you want to save lives? I think both work together. May have been a little dramatic how I said that.
I think either way we're saving lives. And also, who would the other team be?
The other team would be led by Harriet.
Makes sense.
Would the Dragonborn friend be in that team too?
The Dragonborn stays with me, unfortunately.
Makes sense. So
He
yeah,
is my oracle and my one way to tell prophecies and try to decipher some things.
so it would make sense for us to be.
Who else would be in our group? Just me and Clem?
And one person of your choosing.
All right. Can't choose Harriet, unfortunately.
I do have a suggestion for you, though.
Yeah?
And then he knocks on the table. And when the door opens, you see Matthias. And you kind of hear him go, "You hollered for me, King?"
Matthias?
And you hear this, "Matthias, drop the facade. They can be trusted." And
I
then
got a feeling I'm about to be outraged. Son of a bitch!
And you see Matthias's. You hear this voice, but it's not Matthias's, and he goes, "Oh, thank Kree." And then you see his form change.
Mm-hmm.
His skin is purple. His eyes are white. There doesn't seem to be any like irises.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Oh."
So that's why your voice changed when you were drunk.
What's your real name?
Matthias.
I feel deceived, Matthias.
I do apologize. I was in deep cover.
You cried like a bitch often, you know that? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I try not to cry, damn it.
Shit. All
I
right.
have an allergic reaction.
Yeah. So, Matthias, you, King, you want him to be in our group?
He is one of our best King's Guard.
Matthias, you're a Kingsguard?
Yep. As a tear falls from his eye.
So does he look like me, or is he another race?
Roll for me an intelligence check. You're pissed right now. aren't you?
14.
What'd you get?
14.
14. You kind of read up on him in a book.
Is he an elemental race?
He is a changeling.
Oh, okay.
Oh, changeling. So you're a changeling then?
Is that now your true form there? I don't know this shit. Never mind.
Shut up, Red.
Yes, this is my true form.
Looks good on you.
Thank you. And then he transforms into you.
That looks better. Just kidding.
And then he transforms back.
So, Matthias, you feel like saving some people with us?
Let's do it. I'm getting tired of doing this deep cover bullshit.
You're supplying all the whiskey.
That's fine.
Fine.
I make damn good whiskey.
Yep.
All that is home brew, let me tell you.
I don't believe anything anymore.
The world is a lie!
So then, when do we set off on this journey?
Within the hour.
Wow. Well,
Do we have time to get supplies?
it's going to
Yes.
take that long to go down these fucking stairs.
He's giving you about 2 hours. He'll go, all right, 2 hours.
Maybe we'll get our things and maybe find some supplies if they haven't been stripped clean by the army.
Yes, but first, since you all are Kingsguard, it would be best to give you the armor that comes with being a Kingsguard.
Go on.
What armor do you have on right now?
That is a good question. I will tell you in just one moment. I have forgotten. It's the one thing I didn't write down. What am I thinking?
Mine's easy. I don't have any armor on.
Right. I mean, well, so I'm wearing just a jacket, but it's lined. I think it's just a chainmail jacket.
Chainmail?
Yeah.
All right, so he gives you a set of mithril chainmail.
It's very nice. I can stitch it into my jacket. I think.
If you go to the smithy, they can do that for you. Shouldn't take too long. And then he hands you. Warlocks are proficient in leather armor, aren't they?
They are.
They are.
I think so.
Yeah, chainmail. Yep. All right, so some mithril. Mithril chain.
Proficiency.
Excuse
Yep,
me.
light armor.
Light
So-
armor?
So leather.
So he hands you kind of a really light mithril leather armor.
Nice.
Aha, mithril chain shirt. All right, boy. Inventory. Adding that cheese.
And then he kind of looks at you, Exy, and goes, "That looks like a mighty fine sword, but would you like this one instead?" And he hands you one that looks ornate,
Mm-hmm.
but almost of the same craftsmanship as the one you have right now.
I'm always interested in fine weapons. I just have to bless it before I use it. Not
That's
gonna say
understandable.
no, of course.
Well, and then he kind of like flips the sword around and hands it to you, kind of like while holding the blade. This is yours.
I take it and I start playing with it, pulling it out, testing the weight. It's a long sword, you say?
Yes, it is a Dawnbringer.
Dawnbringer.
That I was looking for.
I am not proficient in the arcane, so I'm not sure what it is. But I'm assuming I can tell it's a finely made sword.
Yeah, you even without being a proficient in Arcana, you can tell there's some magic coming off of it as well.
Right. It's a very nice sword. Can you tell me anything about it?
It operates like a flashlight sometimes.
That can be helpful. All right. Dawnbringer flashlight. And then, so mithril is the one. So I don't, no imposing of disadvantage on stealth checks, which is very nice. Very light. Awesome. Digging it.
So I couldn't find mithril on D&D Beyond. What would you want to do for light?
You can do, it's for mithril. Maybe because, well, did you have anything planned?
I had the same issue he had. So what I was going to do was say you had a +1 on stealth checks.
Cool.
You do +1 or advantage, either or.
Yeah,
+1's pretty okay.
+1 advantage on stealth checks, or just
Plus
+1.
one. It's not bad. Mithril chain mail. So I don't have to roll a disadvantage on stealth. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Dawnbringer. Going to add Dawnbringer.
I'll give you the sheet on break, or I'll give
You're
you the
fine.
stat block for it on break. But essentially, you can emanate. It while in the dark, it emanates a 15-foot, or 15-foot.
Right. Yeah. We'll look at our toys during the break.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, Clem, I don't have much for magic users beyond that.
It's totally fine.
Maybe after the fight, I can hand you something worthy of your abilities.
How stealthy are you, Clem? Going into places where we might do some swimming.
We'll do some swimming. Not
Never know.
well, swimming. But I can do this, and I do disguise self.
That is nice. I don't think I have. What's your stealth?
4.
4.
It did not like my snapping.
She got mad for a minute, didn't she? I am going to take off those the gloves of climbing and swimming, and I'm going to give them to Klementine
Okay.
because lets you, swim better and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's on D&D Beyond.
Cool.
So what all does it? Let me tell you what it does here. So, swimming or climbing doesn't cost you extra movement.
Cool.
And then you gain a +5 bonus to strength athletics checks made to climb or swim.
Oh.
So, it could come in handy. Especially if you're stealthing to get somewhere. So that's kind of my idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will totes give you those. I don't think, they don't require attunement or anything, so. Yeah. Well, King, we're going to play with our new things. I'm going to go find a tailor real quick to get this sewn in.
And you hear Thaddeus go, to the left, to the top left of the fort, there is a smithy. Tamara Stoutridge, her and her sibling should be able to do what you request.
All right, maybe have some things, too. We haven't gone shopping, you and I, Clem.
I do need to find some diamonds. It sounds weird, but I got a reason for it later.
Diamonds.
About
I don't have any diamonds.
yeah. King, anybody that has diamonds in this city?
And Thaddeus chimes in and goes, I can give you some diamonds if need be, or you can talk to Matthias.
Is it for healing?
They help in healing a bit, but well, not a bit, but like a lot. Like, if you would,
Right. As a cleric, I think I eventually get that spell, so that's why I assumed that I would know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
That's why I said maybe.
Matthias chimes in and goes, I can let you look through my secret stash.
Sounds great.
I don't trust you yet, Matthias. Secret stash. Changeling mother. Anyway, off to the smithy and to the shop.
Sounds like a
And
plan.
if any of you have diamonds that you can spare, we'll probably need a few. How many do you need for your...
300 gold's worth.
For one cast?
Yes.
We'll need at least one. In case one of us... In case I go down. You can't cast it on yourself.
No, sadly can't.
That's not good. I'm not strong enough to perform that spell yet.
And with that, it is almost that time, so do you want to take a break?
Sure, let's go
Sure.
ahead and take a break.